In this video, I'll show you how to take 3D CAD, in this case, typical rounded tube geometry, extract a midline, create 1D elements, C-beams or C-bars, and then create the section property based on the input solid geometry. So we're going to start out in the geometry ribbon, going to the midlines tool. You can click on the little video and that'll give you a nice little description of what we're trying to accomplish here, simply creating the midline along this solid. We could also add seam connectors ahead of time if needed for welds. With the drop down, you've got the options available to you, and in the advanced selection or advanced options, you have the destination component. A couple different options there to put them in the current component, the original component, or create a new component, and create the seam connectors. So we simply pick the solid and extract. And here, if we turn off the solid, you can see the line that was created. Now we're going to go ahead and create a mesh on that. So we'll go to Mesh, 1D, and we're just going to simply create our 1D mesh lines on our input line geometry. We can either specify a config, bar or rod, a type, C-beam, C-bar, or a size, element density, or number. You can type in 6 and create and accept. And you can see our elements created, and we can turn on the rest of our geometry as well. Now we've got a new tool here, and that's in elements. Stay in mesh, stay in the 1D, section property. That's going to be available in 2021. So we're going to select our beam elements, that's our input. We've got some options here as well. We're going to it's based on a proximity factor for tolerancing and some existing elements. For this, we're just going to simply have our input be the beams that we want to generate a section for, and our source is going to be the solid. And we've got some options here, and we can look at the help on what each of those do. It'll either create a single cut at each beam, or a cut at each node. Here you get a visualization of where each of those cuts will occur, and I can say create. So you will notice right off the bat that visually the visualization is incorrect. That's due to the beam section being created as a generic section. And that's reasons for right now, just during calculation, it's considering solids and elements for the material. We're able to do more right now with the generic config without having to go back and recalculate everything using the different visualization standard configurations. So visualization is something that will come in the future, but visualization aside, it does go and create each of those correct sections, giving it all the important and correct criteria for each of those sections. So again, we can go in, hit F1 to get more information on the help. That'll tell you what each of those section cuts do and how you can use them. So again, we utilize the tools that we have at our disposal within HyperWorks core. Geometry midline is going to extract the midline from a solid. See the little playback video. Mesh 1D is going to create our 1D elements along a line. We can also realign those, reorient them, or offset them, update those properties here. And then the section property assigns beam sections and properties to the 1Ds based either on elements or, in our case, a solid.